If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Now go download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And now back to Girl Down Podcast with me, Aeon. You're listening to a new episode of Girl Down Podcast with your host, me, Aeon. So sit back, relax, and listen as I unpack the uncertainty of my 30s, one episode at a time. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Girl Down Podcast with your host, Aeon. And I am fortunate to be joined once again by my sister, Miss Paige. Hey, Paige.
Hey.
So this episode, we are just going to talk about the realities of dating as Black trans women and just how late it really is and how we get the strength to keep carrying on in the midst of all of this uncertainty. Because let me tell y'all, dating is just the absolute ghetto. It's just
It really is.
at 32, I just don't like I don't look forward to meeting new men. As somebody that primarily dates cishet men, it's the pits. It's the pits. It's late. It's ghetto. I try to find the joy in it, but these niggas are weird as fuck. They weird as fuck. They don't know what they want. When they find out that you're trans, they think it gives them license to play all the little games that they want to play. And to be honest, not saying that I'm anti-love, I don't ever want love, or I don't ever want to be in a relationship, but I've really found the joy in being by myself, being around my friends and my family that loves me, and cultivating that space, and having my little partners who and I want to have fun. But as far as dating and getting to know people, these men are either so fickle because of a number of reasons. They haven't dealt with the fact that they're trans attracted. They don't know what it's like to integrate a trans woman into their life, or they just have a lot of personal trauma that has nothing to do with me being trans, that they know they need to work on, but they refuse to work on it, and they're just in a perpetual state of depression. And it's just like, as somebody that has worked through my own stuff, I'm not trying to be in that place with a grown ass nigga. And it's just easy. I have found that it's just easier for me to have my little dick appointments and have my fun and keep it movement. And also, no, within the past year of me dating, no man that I've come across has had their stuff together where they've been able to date me and they've been able to be consistent, they've been able to be vulnerable, they've been able to show me the real them. I feel like I'm always meeting niggas representatives of what they think I want in a man, or what they think I want to hear, instead of just hearing like, who are you really? Who are you at the core of who you are? Why should I be interested in getting to know you? And you try to give niggas the opportunity to rise to the occasion, and they just be like, what? You don't want to play the game with me? No. My time is precious, my life is valuable, and I'd rather not play the game. Sis, come on in. I know you have thoughts. What's going on?
Well, I have to say this. I agree with you 100% with dating is very ghetto. It's extremely ghetto, as a matter of fact. And I told myself this year was going to be the year for me to date more. And it's like I'm being very optimistic about the whole situation, but it is getting hard to remain optimistic because, like you said, you meet guys, and it's like it's a representative of who they think you want them to be.
Right.
And it's just not them. Like I feel like I keep meeting the same person, it's just in a different body.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot like they're not addressing their attraction to us women, and they just don't know what to do. They don't know what they want. It's just really confusing, and it's just aggravating. It really is aggravating.
And for
I'm
all the
trying to
sister women
remain.
that feel like, I was about to say, for all the sister women that feel like we're taking their man, bitch, you can have these motherfuckers because they're not adding
Okay,
any value to our lives, bitch.
and they act like that because y'all let them.
Right. The only thing they bringing over here, drama, diseases, stealing our property. Like I don't want it. Like I want to date somebody that is self-actualized as a person or is on the path to doing that. I'm tired. I'm I don't know. I'm just tired of meeting these men that are doing this performance of what they think masculinity is, and what like it's just not. It just doesn't impress me.
No,
Especially as somebody
it's
that's
not
working
impressive.
right, as somebody that's working so hard to work on their shit and to just be present in the moment, and not just be present in the moment, to live my life unapologetically. I'm not interested in no house relationship or no half dating. Like I know more now than ever that life is precious and that I need to be making the most out of the experiences of life. So I want to be out there. I want to go places. I want to experience things. I want to do stuff. And it's if you're not on that wavelength and you're not on that level because you're constantly trying to hide or you're constantly trying to be in the smoke screen of delusion because you don't want to know, because you don't want to move forward, which a lot of people are. It's just hard to relate, and it's just hard to connect on that level because I just feel like I'm moving to a different place, and a lot of the men that are presented to me, or a lot of the men that I come across, they don't keep my interest because they're trying to suppress so much of themselves just to get by, and that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. I'm really trying to be present, and even with the state of the world and the pandemic and all of that. I'm really trying to make the most of these moments, girl, because you really don't know how much time you have here on this earth. And I feel like I've wasted so much time chasing these men that would just like their personalities would dry. Especially with, and let's have the specific conversation, like with these trans amorous men or like DL men, like I feel like you don't really get a sense of their personality other than they want to have sex or they just want to munch you. Like you don't really get insight into who they are or the things that make them tick because they're so busy trying to like live their life for other people.
Mhm. That is so right.
Do you feel like do you feel like you're going to be alone forever? And if you do you feel like that's a punishment?
You know, sometimes I really do feel like that I'm going to be single forever. And I do think that in a lot of ways there is a punishment for being who you are. Cuz it's like it's really not easy as people think that it is. Like I had my sister say this to me one day, my blood sister. She said to me she thought that um dating being a trans woman would be easier for me. And I don't know if she thought that because she gay men would be more our speed, and it's like, no, honey, they not checking for us unless they a little, bi, or the gay guys who do like trans women. But for the most part, honey, they don't see us. They want a man. They want what they are. So
Right.
I don't know if she meant that, but I was like, no, well, honey, it's just not that easy. Or if she thought it would be easier for me because I'm passable or whatever. I don't know, but it's definitely not easy because it's like you take a lot in with dating these guys. Their mental is just so fragile, and their brain is just scattered. I don't know, honey. You know I got stories for days. Like, okay, this one guy in particular, I had known him for years, and we would constantly just keep in contact. And one day, he decided to hit me up. I hadn't heard from him for a really long time. So, we were talking, getting back in the groove of like getting to know each other again. Everything was cool. I just never felt like I could honestly get into his personality. Everything was just like so cold. I don't know. Like I don't even know his favorite color. All I know is he works out a lot, and that's that. Like I didn't get a real sense of his personality. Even when I was with him one day, but he came over my house one night, I still didn't get like I don't know. It was very weird, but he literally like beat down my DMs for like the longest time to get my attention, and then when he got it, he didn't know what to do with me. And I feel like that a lot with guys with dating, like they'll do everything in their power to get my attention, and once they do have it, they don't know what to do. It's like
Yeah,
they drop the ball literally every time.
yeah, I feel like that too. I feel like, particularly for girls like us, it's just the thrill of being able to like speak to us and for us to acknowledge them, and that'll be like the limit that they'll want
Right,
to go to. It's like, oh, she acknowledged me.
right.
That's it.
Because they feel like they've done enough,
Right.
and they don't have to do anymore once you know, once they've gotten your attention, they don't feel like they have to do anymore.
Yeah. For me, I used to feel like it was a punishment. I used to be feel so. Next year will be like 10 years that I'll be like I've been officially single. And that's not to say I haven't talked to anybody between those 10 years, or I haven't been dating
Mm.
people to work up to be in a relationship. But I haven't been in my last relation, which I ended, which was back in 2012. I used to be better about it, but now having the experience that I have now, I don't, as somebody that is extremely independent and as somebody that likes to come and go as I please, I don't feel like it's a punishment as much as I used to, because I feel like I have
Mm-hmm.
even a greater opportunity to explore who I am, to like to
Right.
really get into myself in a way that you can't do in a relationship, because part of being in a relationship is you have to sacrifice so much of yourself to make this thing work. And not to say that anything is wrong with that for the
Mm-hmm.
people that are blessed to be in relationships, but I know now, even more so than I did almost 10 years ago, that I have such a strong sense of identity that there are just certain situations that I'm just not going to let myself get into. There's certain energies that I'm going to be aware of, and I'm going to feel empowered to speak on it, because so much of it is, well, I didn't want to say anything because I thought I was going to be alone, or I thought this person was going to leave me. And now, like, somebody leaving
Mm.
me, especially if it's nasty energy or toxic energy, that's the last thing I'm worried about. Um, and I also think about safety, how that, like, me being able to, I don't know, me being able to not compromise and me being able to make those decisions, I feel safer. I don't know. I just feel like I have a strong sense of myself that somebody that has been in a relationship for a long time that you don't get to express because you don't want to disturb the foundation of a relationship. So
Right.
if I want to get into something now, it has to be something that's really serving the person that I am. Like I'm just not going to get into a relationship out of convenience, which is something that I've done a lot in my past, just doing it because okay, this person is going to be there and I'm trans and who else am I going to get? Who else is going to be want me? No, if I'm going to get a relationship now, it has to complement the value that I already bring to myself.
I'm so far past that.
Right. It
Yeah,
had
I
like
don't
it had
care.
yeah, I just it has to and the shade is a lot of the men that I come across, I don't envision them adding value to the value that I already had for myself. I feel like it's a subtraction from the situation. And I
Right.
don't want to
And
be in a situation
also,
that does that, where I'm doing that.
right, and also with lately the guys I've been meeting, they don't make me say, "Oh, I'm not excited to really hear from them." You know, when you first start dating someone or getting the talking phase, you're like, "Oh, I wonder what so and so is doing." I don't feel like that. I just
Right.
don't. And years ago, I would have been like, "Oh, I wonder what he's doing," and all this other stuff, and just so pressed. You
No,
know,
we are
I'm
busy
I'm
women.
I'm
We have lives we trying to manage, bitch.
right. And when I the guys I have been meeting, they just like you say, they don't add any value, and you can't envision them into your circle or fit into your life. I just don't see it. I feel like these guys will kind of like bring me down mentally because I've done the work and I've been working on myself and I've been single for a long time. So, you know, you know that. But I don't know. I just haven't met anyone that just makes me tick or make me say, oh, and when we get together or when I'm alone, I don't always, I'm just not thinking about them. I don't envision them into my space or it's like, oh, I wonder how things will be or if things are going to progress or things are going to develop. I'm just in a space where it's like, it is what it is, you know? I'm just,
Right.
I'm playing it by ear, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm
And
playing it by
back to
ear too, and I'm not changing until I find that thing that adds. And I'm not just talking about like material or financial. I'm talking about your fullness as a
no,
human being,
right.
adding value to my fullness as a human being. And I haven't seen that yet, and I'm not going to settle. This doesn't mean I'm not going to have fun or I'm not going to cut up or I'm not going to flirt. But as far as like integrating you into my life, I just haven't found that person that adds that person that makes me want to be a better person. Like I'm tired of
Right.
always having to overcompensate to be the dependable or the stable one. Like I want somebody to inspire me to meet new heights. And the sad reality is the bar is so low for a lot of these niggas that a lot of them just don't even have the capability to even do that because it's not required of them. Because they're conditioned to just take and not even ask, well, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What do you need? But honey,
Mm.
that's the type of situation I'm looking for. I'm open to it. Like I feel like when I see it, that is when it'll happen. But until then, I'ma just be moving and grooving and having my fun. And just being real with people. Like just tell it like I've had like just yesterday I had somebody over and it's like, well, why don't you wanna, why can't we just make this a regular thing? And of course I didn't tell them because I didn't want to be rude, but in my head, I'm like, we're not on the same level. And this is
No.
not about me being a professional, just my view of the world is just different. And I need somebody that kind of
Mm-hmm.
sees the world in the same way that I do. And and you want to just be smoking blunts, laid up in the house all weekend, which is cool,
Mm-mm.
but that's not how I live my life. And it just eventually we would come to an impasse. So rather than just putting my energy into something that I know is not going to be of value or be of use to me, I'd rather just have my fun, accept it for what it is, and keep and commit to just living my life. I feel like it, as long as you, even when bad shit happens, as long as you just commit to keep on living life, you never know what can happen.
Right. That is so true. That is so true.
You just never know. You just have to commit to living life.
Lately, I just been having fun. I'm just taking it for what it is. It's like you meet a guy, you give him a chance. It don't work out. It's pretty much on to the next one until you get the one that you really want. And in between time, it's given very much. You have them and you send them on their way.
Right. Very.
I don't know.
In the words of Miss Lucy Papers, very sexist and exit, bitch.
Okay.
Shout out to Lucy Papers.
Shout out to Lucy. Shout out to Lucy. I love Lucy, by the way.
Yes, very sexist and exit, bitch.
I can't agree with her more. Her phrases be taking me out. Yeah, girl. It's like, and also, just years, like I'm saying from back in the day, like years ago dating to now, I don't know. I feel like a few years ago, I would have been in shambles if something didn't work out between me and a guy I really like. Now I just be like, oh, okay. And it's on to the next person.
Yeah,
but dating is very ghetto.
It is. It's ghetto, but even though dating is ghetto, I still believe in love. I love how love makes me a softer person, and I believe that.
Oh my goodness, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I love how when I do fall in love with a person, like I be so giddy and so just it just makes me soft because my personality is very strong, and people, and you know this, people often take me as a mean person, and I'm really not mean. I'm just real stern, and I'm just real strong. Like I'm just not a playful kind of girl. You're not gonna play in my face. You're not gonna play with me.
Yeah, I don't know. I just believe that when it's the right time.
Then I believe in love.
Right. It's going to be the right time. It's going to be the right person. It's going to be the right situation. And I don't want to have no caveats to the, I want it to be the right situation. Like I'm just, and one thing I've learned is I've said yes to so many niggas that didn't deserve it. Like the person that I'm going to say yes to is, there's going to be no explanations. I'm going to be able to tell you about him and you're going to be like, bitch, yes. Like I see this for you. Like I see it for you. I see the situation for you.
And another thing I want to touch on with dating, if we don't hit it off, that's fine. But please don't try to force yourself on me because that's not going to do nothing but make me withdraw from you. And a lot of times you just don't hit it off, and that's okay. It don't mean you have to be enemies or dislike each other. It just didn't work out, and that's okay. You have to be okay with it being okay. Like, please don't force yourself on me. I don't like that.
I just had that happen last weekend. This piece, I was telling him he was feeling me, but he lives somewhere. I want to say Philly. He wasn't in DC, And I was just like, I know now that I can't do the long distance shit. Like I need to be able to have access to you in my city. Like I used to be a girl to, oh, he can do the long distance and fantasize. And I've been ready to move. Like now that I'm older and I moved to a couple of different places, all of these motherfucking cities are bullshit. And it's not just because you move somewhere else, like, yeah, your opportunities might change a little bit depending on what you want to do, but all of these cities got some shit with them. So it's just me just fantasizing that life is just like that ship has set sail and sunk. And I would much rather, also knowing what I know about men now, I would much rather have you in the same city as me than try to do something long distance. Like I need to, part of my thing is I need to be able to depend on you. I need to have access to you. I need to know that when I call you on the phone that you could come running. And he just was not trying to hear that. So I ended up having to block him because after I said no, it was just this succession of messages like, well, we're going to make it work out. And I'm like, you don't get to make that decision. Like, these niggas are crazy. They're crazy.
Yeah. Yes. That possessive personality. I don't like that. Like, if we just don't hit it off, that's fine. Like, let's just leave it where it's at. It don't have to be no more or no less. Let's just leave it where it's at. And that whole long distance thing, I'm not a long distance girl. I don't have to see you every day, but when I want to see you, I need to be able to lay eyes on you.
Right.
You need to be in the vicinity. I'm sorry. That whole long distance thing, like, we not 12. I don't know. I can't. I'm not a long distance girl. I can't do it. I thought about it. I tried it. It's not for me. And also, guys that want to move too fast, look, slow down. Whatever's supposed to happen will happen. Just let things flow organically. I'm going to go with the flow kind of girl anyway. If I'm going to live for you, I'm going to live for you. Stop trying to make me live for you also. I don't like that.
Well, girl, I think we've come to the end of this episode. I want to thank my sis for making another appearance on Girl Down Podcast. I want to thank you all for supporting this podcast and supporting my new journey and my new endeavor. And I will see y'all here for another episode next week. Until next time, bye. Huh?
I want to say thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
Yes. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome to come back anytime, sis. All right, y'all. See y'all next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of Girl Down Podcast with me, Aeon. If you like the show, please be sure to go on over to Apple Podcasts and rate and review this podcast. Also, make sure that you're engaging with me on social media. Also, if you have any inquiries or you want to send me any questions, be sure to email me at girldownpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, bye y'all.